What's up, Meus? I'm Miguel Cosma, a classically trained musician and a music teacher as well from Spain. In my channel, I analyze popular songs and do creative things in general. Today, we're going to do a breakdown of my submission to Andrew Huang's challenge for Producers One Sample. I've been a fan of Andrew Huang's work for a really long time, probably my most viewed YouTube channel, and I even have his book. It's really cool. It's not a paid advertisement. I really like it. I've also made a YouTube video using Flip, his app for doing samples in my iPad. And another thing to prove that I really love Andrew Huang's, my girlfriend made this board game, which is like Double. And as you can see, here it is. Andrew Huang himself in my board game. I had a few premises to start doing this challenge. The first one was listening to the sample, and the first thing that came to my mind in order to use it was this part over here. You can see I processed it a little bit, and it sounded to me like a metalcore or a deathcore breakdown, and I've been in a few bands doing that kind of style, so I wanted to end with that breakdown, and I'm not going to ruin it right now, so we'll listen it to later. The other thing was I've been analyzing a few songs that had the verses in a minor key, but when the chorus enters, the first chord is in major. Everything is in minor key, but the first degree of the scale is in major. So I wanted to do that in the chorus. The other thing was that I wanted to force me to use my singing voice, because I'm really used to scream, but I'm not comfortable singing. I don't like it, and I've seen many videos of Andrew discussing this topic as well, of the difficulty of singing, being happy with it. But I really love doing it. I don't like how it sounds, but I wanted to force myself, so I wanted to use my voice. The other thing was using Ableton Live for the first time, because Andrew always uses this DAW, but I've been using Logic Pro for like 6 years. I started with this drone because I play a little bit of Galician bagpipe, and it has drones, and I wanted to do that. So here is the first drone that we use, and I use it from the sample. It is changing the pan, and I automated that, as you can see here, and it is an octave above. Then I have this one. It's a similar drone using also the sample, EQing it a little bit to take the lows. After doing the drones, I recorded this chord progression in B minor. Using this Spitfire audio lapse that has a really mellow sound, I added this ostinato part with that B sounding over and over again, and then I use this part with the full chords. The next thing I did over this chord progression was the voice, and I started doing this low voice. I think it's this one. I've always wanted to be someone like you. I recorded it 3 semitones up and then pitched it down in order to add more texture to my voice. I've always wanted to be someone like you. Then in the second part of the first verse, I added this high voice. I want it now, I want it forever, but time won't wait and never return. using this kind of voice, like low voice, it reminded me to the artist Woodkid. So I wanted to do some kind of production similar to him. And I started with chopping this part of the sample. It's the same part as the breakdown. That's like a high octave. And then this one, with a little bit of reverb and delay. I added these MIDI toms. They add this kind of character like the arcane OST vibe. And then I added this kind of shakers, I don't know, blips and blobs, with a particular rhythm that's really typical here in Galicia at the northwest of Spain, called muñeira. It's in 6/8, it's like a triplet thing. They are hard punned. I use this bass from the sample as well. With a chromatism. I really like that. The first time I recorded the vocal, I wasn't really sure about what to sing, so I drew it in MIDI, and then I wanted to use it because it was only a reference at first, but I use it in here. Someone like you on my own terms. And I also use it here. But I won't wait. In order to emphasize the time won't wait. Then we enter a pre-chorus. We use the same elements. I just changed the vocal take. What if I fall? What if I don't? And then we have these risers that I chopped from the sample. And we enter the chorus. In this chorus, I wanted to add guitars because many of the songs that I've researched that use this major first degree of the scale in a minor key were Linkin Park, Arcane Roots, and rock bands. So I added these guitars over here. And that chord reminds me to My Chemical Romance. Then I added some drums with Invasion and Modern and Massive from GGD. Some bass, MIDI bass. This one is from Submission Audio, Gene bass. Altogether, it sounds like this. In order to emphasize the major quality of the first degree, I added some Rhodes. They are very quiet in the mix, but they add just enough to know that the third is major. Then I added my voice. I keep on trying for more. I'll try. This was the most difficult part for me to record because I'm really used to sing like in low volume or scream really hard. But this middle ground, I'm not used to do it. I didn't like how it sounded. It sounded really nasal. So I added this low octave. I just pitch it down and it sounds really, really strange in its own.
I keep on trying.
But it added a little bit of texture in the mix. The second verse, it's really similar to the first one, but I changed the vocal melody.
I have built this dream with fragile hands and shifting sand.
In here, we do this emo part.
Every mistake a lesson in scars, but I won't deny that doubt always lingers by.
Okay, in the next part, I wanted to do like a mellower sound. I erased all the percussion, all the harsh noises, and I used a gentle voice.
If I let go, will I still be me? If I hold on, will I ever be free? Heavy is the weight, but so is hope. I hear my doubt, but not its call.
And we go to the chorus again for the second time. In this part, I also used the vocal reference trick that I did in the first verse in order to emphasize some parts of the vocal performance.
Will I still be me if I hold on?
Yeah, and again here.
Will I ever be free?
I also harmonized.
So is hope.
And there's a little trick in here. I wanted to feel like it was an upright piano, a real one, and I don't have one. So I wanted to recreate using the pedal to stop the sustain of the sound. I just chopped a part of the original sample over here and EQ'd a little bit and added reverb with a filter, Pro R and Pro Q, and it sounds like this. It's really subtle, but I really enjoyed that part. Everything drops in here, only the vocals stay.
Doubt, but not its call.
And then we drop into the chorus.
I keep on trying.
Okay, the chorus is the same as the first time. And now it's time for the part that started this song, the breakdown. To remember the sample, it was like this. It's difficult not to headbang. There are a little bit of imperfection, let's say. It pitches down right here, but I like it. It's like more raw. And in here, when I talk to my girlfriend about Andrew, I would say Andrew Huang, Andrew Huang. And in Spain, it's really difficult to say the H, that H sound. And we usually say So I had this sketch because I really enjoyed that part.
¿Qué te pareció?
Pues la verdad es que me gustó un montón, es súper bonita. Y con la letra, con algún cacho de casi se me quedó una lagrimita.
¿Sabes que es para un challenge de Andrew Huang?
Juan, Andrew Huang.
No, tía, no es Andrew Huang, es Andrew.
And let's see the climax of this part, of this sketch.
¿Qué te pareció?
La verdad es que me gustó un montón, es súper bonita. Y con la letra, con algún cacho de casi se me quedó una lagrimita.
¿Sabes que es para un challenge de Andrew Huang?
Juan, Andrew Huang.
No, tía, no es Andrew Huang, es Andrew.
Then I corrected the pronunciation, Andrew Huang with an H. So over here I used also these GGD drums. mostly Invasion, the Invasion pack. The bass guitar is the same plugin, but using this grind mode. As you see, this genie is like really angry. It sounds like this. The bass that they sample is the same one as I have over there, so I use it a lot when I don't have time to track. I've also used the sample. I emphasize the high frequency ones, like the accents, dun, dun, cat, 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 and they go with the snare. It's like a bonus to the snare sound. Then the guitars, they are not in drop anything. It's in standard B. It's that Fender over there from Jim Root from Slipknot. What I wanted to recreate was the sound of Knocked Loose. Instead of playing fifths, they play fourths and it sounds really gnarly. And I also pitch shifted a little bit in order to sound like detuned. Okay, without the detune trick, they sound like this. They are gnarly without this pitch shifter, but it adds a little bit of chaos. The plugin that I use for the guitar sound is Archetype Gojira from Nero DSP. And for my screams, there's nothing fancy in here. And I dubbed it. But the dub it's really low in the mix. In order to emphasize the screams, I did this Saturn trick from FabFilter doing a crushed bass. I sent a little bit of signal from my vocal performance. It distorts the screams, but without doing too much because my screams are really distorted raw. Over here, I repeated the Andrew Huang with the cymbal chokes. And in order to emphasize the breakdown drops, I use these ones, which are from our band's producer, my band RYMER, and the name of the producer is Eric Monsonis, and they sound like this.
I've always wanted to be someone like you, but no one.
Okay, in here I dropped the tempo in order to make a more brutal breakdown, and I added these snare bombs from Eric as well. I emphasized the last words, doubling my screams, a little bit more low in pitch and hard band left and right. And to end the song, firstly, I only had these guitars, bass and drums ring. And I really love when songs end like scratching the strings of the guitar. But I wanted to emphasize it a little bit, so I used this part of the sample. And I synced it with the strings choking. So here it is, the breakdown of my submission to Andrew Huang's challenge. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to check my YouTube channel, it's in Spanish. We talked about music, about harmony, about analyzing songs and doing creative things. And also check out my band RYMER. Bye.